Hapade Guam, welcome to the HotSpot. I'm Jason Salas, and here's what's on your menu for this Friday afternoon.
The menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the Fresh Garden Bar.
Power bills for island ratepayers like you and I may be seeing an increase. We'll also tell you that May is Drug Court Month. We'll tell you what's going on, and we'll tell you how women can avail of the Making Women Stronger Adult High School Completion Scholarship Program. But first off, we tackle utility news at the top of the show because you want to brace yourself for a likely increase in your power bills starting in the month of July. The Guam Power Authority presented a new fuel surcharge increase proposal to the Consolidated Commission on Utilities on Thursday. KUM's Nestor Lecanto has details.
GPA General Manager John Beneventi kept referring to it as the perfect storm of skyrocketing global oil prices brought on by the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the seasonal spike in consumption as the summer heats up. He said the price of a barrel of fuel went from $79 in January to now some $127. That means the cost of a tanker of fuel will go from about $20 million to now $30 million. And GPA needs to make sure it has enough cash in the bank to pay for enough fuel to run the generators. To ease the pain, though, GPA is proposing to phase in the increase in the fuel surcharge known as the LEAC over 4 months from July through November. General Manager John Beneventi.
Effective July 1st, instead of going from 20 cents to 29 cents on July 1st, on August 1st, we begin the process on July 1st and go from 20.209 cents a kilowatt hour to 20.24 in July, to 0.27 in September, 2 months later, and then get up to the 0.296 by November.
If approved, starting July 1st, the average monthly bill of $307 for consumption of 1,000 kilowatts will increase by almost $31 to $338 a month. On September 1st, it will go up by another almost $30 for a total of $368. And finally, by November, it will increase by another $26 for a monthly bill of $393. The proposal will be voted on by the CCU on Tuesday, and it must still be approved by the Public Utilities Commission. For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
In healthcare headlines this afternoon, 55 new COVID-19 cases were reported yesterday from 594 specimens on the 18th, according to the Joint Information Center. Now, of those cases, 19 were from the Federal Department of Defense. There are now 3 people hospitalized due to coronavirus, with 1 in the ICU. 2 are confirmed at GMH and the remaining 1 at GRMC here in Dededo. All 3 hospitalized people are vaccinated. There have been over 48,000 officially reported cases, with 361 deaths and 240 cases in isolation. Next, the head of the Food and Drug Administration is saying the nation's shortage of baby formula will start to get better within days. That testimony comes a day after the president took a rare step of invoking the Defense Production Act to boost domestic supplies. Here's more.
There is relief in sight regarding the nationwide baby formula shortage, according to the head of the FDA.
Days it will get better, but it will be a few weeks before we're back to normal.
Dr. Robert Califf told a House subcommittee his agency is working on a number of solutions and asked for more resources.
It would sure help if we had a larger number of people.
One of the major reasons for the shortage is the shutdown of Abbott Nutrition's Michigan plant in February over safety concerns. Lawmakers grilled the FDA chief about the agency's response to warnings of violations at the largest formula factory in the U.S.
The agency received reports as early as September 2021, but did not inspect the associated facility until January of 2022, which is indeed unconscionable.
We need to make sure this plant is safe to open, but it's hard to see any evidence that FDA has made it a priority to get this plant cleaned and cleared and back online.
The hearing comes as the White House is trying to formulate a solution for parents. President Biden is invoking the Defense Production Act to boost domestic supplies.
I know parents all across the country are worried about finding enough infant formula to feed their babies.
The president is also launching Operation Fly Formula to import more product from overseas to speed up delivery so that store shelves don't remain empty or near empty for long. Deborah Alfarone reporting for KUAM News.
In honor of Law Month, a proclamation signing was held recognizing May as Drug Court Month. Here are the full details.
The Adult Drug Court is the judiciary's longest operating treatment court for adults. Since its establishment, it's served over 900 participants and has shown to be a success. Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, F. Philip Carbolito.
The treatment courts have really significantly improved substance use disorder treatment outcomes. They have substantially reduced addiction and do so at less expense than any other criminal justice strategy.
ADC is currently serving 117 participants. They offer treatment services from residential to outpatient substance abuse treatment with peer recovery support services and even individual and couples therapy.
The treatment courts were created to address a serious problem in our community. As you know, the methamphetamine addiction, I call it epidemic, started in the 90s. And we were getting a total of maybe 700 to 800 cases a year of people charged with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance or other similar charges.
Present day, the drug problem still continues to plague the island.
As you are all aware, drug abuse is a big issue, a big social, family, economic issue in our island.
According to Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, there are current and upcoming programs to further combat the drug problem on Guam. For the first time in over 20 years, a chemical detox unit was opened at Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center. They are also working with the Salvation Army to add additional inpatient bed capacity for women. Also in the works is repairing the Telefofo cottage homes to establish a campus there for additional inpatient treatment for men.
Education news now is for incoming GDOE upperclassmen, juniors and seniors. Wanting to make a difference in schools and be the voice of their peers, you can apply to be on the island-wide board of governing students for 2022-2023. The group is looking for interested pupils wanting to make a positive impact next school year to join the body. The last day to apply is May 23rd. If you would like to make an inquiry, please email ibogs@gdoe.net. All right, guys, we got to take a pause for the cause, but coming up next, my friend Jane Flores is telling you how you can avail of a new scholarship program for young women. That's coming up.
To Dancing with Myself, the ultimate dance party. Celebrity creators are setting the challenges and teaching the steps.
1, 2.
My body doesn't do that.
Dancing with Myself premieres May 31st, 10, 9 Central on NBC. Uproar, the Guam Rugby Union presents Youth Festival Edition. Now is the time. Saturday, May 28th, beginning at 9 a.m. at the GW Field. Co-ed flag MS tournament, varsity boys 15s and girls 7s all-star match. JV Rising Star matches at the GW Field. For middle school inquiries, email uproarguam@gmail.com or text 671-488-9346. Uproar Youth Festival Edition is presented by our community partners. Proceeds to benefit the Guam Women's Rugby National Team.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. Want a better look at your spending? With MoneyMap, you can automatically create budgets and manage where your money is going. Know when you have a green light or when it's time to slow down. Maybe cook more meals at home this week. Set your goals, track your progress, and find your way to exactly where you want to be with MoneyMap from the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. It all starts with yes.
KUAM Communication is your go-to source for the biggest national and international sports events. Check out KUAM TV8 and KUAM TV11 for the biggest sports specials, championships, and events from every court, track, field, and playing ground. We're bringing you all the action and excitement. Brought to you locally by Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape and Docomo Pacific.
We're living in a new world with new ways of communicating, connecting, and moving through life.
Every day seems to be marked with change, and with all these changes, you need trusted people you can rely on for advice and insights about the things that really matter.
Let Gina and I walk you through everything you need to know about real estate, from buying to selling to renting, and all the details in between.
Join us with Jason Solis every week on House to Home.
House to Home every Tuesday on KUAM News Extra, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Properties in the Tropics is your weekly roundup of the hottest properties on Guam. Every Thursday, get a virtual walkthrough of homes, apartments, townhomes, and land available for lease, rent, or sale, with a breakdown of the most important info, including cost, features, and of course, location details. Watch it on KUAM News Hotspot at noon on streaming and TV8, or catch the encore at 5 p.m. on TV11. You can also check out each installment on Instagram too. Properties in the Tropics is presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty. KUAM News, winner of the 2022 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Culture Club.
Welcome back, my friends, to the Hotspot. It was over a week ago wherein Adelup announced the launching of the Nina Metgut Famalawan, the Making Women Stronger Adult High School Completion Scholarship Program. And joining me now live in studio to talk about this tremendous opportunity for young women is someone who I've seen not only as a friend, but a mentor and a colleague for many, many years, Jane Flores, the Bureau of Women's Affairs Director. First time I've actually spoken to you face to face.
It's wonderful to be back in person with people.
Yeah, so welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The studio looks great.
Oh, we hope you like what we've done with the place.
Yeah.
The aircon is to your liking, I hope.
Yeah, that's always an issue. Yeah.
Well, something that is not an issue, Jane, is certainly this scholarship program for young women. You know, as the head of Bureau of Women's Affairs, of course, you know, by your nature, but also a passion of yours personally, is to make opportunities available for young women, because there's such a distinct set of challenges that our beloved females have and everything. So can you break down the mechanics of this program, please?
Sure. Well, you know, I want to thank Governor Liu and Lieutenant Governor Josh, because there was ARP funding that was available, and they said, okay, if you have an idea, you know, submit a grant application as Bureau of Women's Affairs, or, you know, and I said, okay, I have this idea, this is what I want to do. And they said, hey, go for it. So, and I used to work at GCC for almost 10 years. And once you work at GCC, you know, you're always, GCC is in your heart, right? So,
my late father would feel the same way as a former provost.
That's right. And, but I knew the challenges that the adult high school diploma program women had. You know, there are a lot of challenges to trying to graduate from high school when you're older. And we had a very dismal graduation rate. And so I thought, you know what, we're going to do something about this. And the pandemic, you know, coupled with the pandemic having a greater impact in women, you know, that's documented that women suffered more in the pandemic. And I thought, let's try to get women who had to drop out of high school for one reason or other, some sort of incentive to graduate. And so what this program does is there are two avenues. And what you do is, I worked with Dr. Okada at GCC and Denise Mendiola and Yvonne Yolanda Topazna, who is in charge of the adult ed program.
The four of you together, I mean, that's a strong women group right there.
There you go. And so what we did was so what you're going to do is you fill out an application, and you have two ways to graduate from high school once you're an adult. You can either go into the adult high school diploma program, which is a series of classes that you have to take, and it's federally funded, so the classes are free. Or you can take the GED. Now, to take the GED test, it's $125. And Denise told me, if you're going to do this where they have to take the GED, you're going to have to front the money. So what we do is you apply, and whichever avenue you want to go through, and one of the important things about this, Jason, is that if you are already in the adult high school program at GCC, please apply, because we will, if you are going to graduate in December or in May, apply for this, because we will give you, what you do is once you graduate, we give you a $500 scholarship. We'll hand you a check for $500 that you can use to get all of the things that you need to get employed, your police clearance, your court clearance, your clothes, gas, whatever you need.
Yeah,
right?
you're going to drive around a lot.
Right, whatever you need to get a job. And also, GCC will, if you're in the adult high school program, they will help you. They usually help you to, after you have graduated, either to get into a program or to get a job. They have, job programs where they're aligned with some of the employers around.
And that is the lineage that you helped to create. It's not just, okay, well, you fulfilled your 30 credits and everything like that. Have fun, call yourself an alumni now. Yeah,
right.
I mean, the resource pipeline continues
there. So this is really a good opportunity. And usually most people want to take the GED because that is something that is easy to get out of the way. Now, if you're like me, I'm fairly decent at English, so I would pass that portion of it, but I'm terrible at math. So I would.
You're actually quite good at English. I know that. I wrote many papers in high school based on your fine work.
But thank you. But if math, not so good. So I would, you fail the math. There's 4 components of the GED. So we've worked it out with GCC where we will, your name, goes onto a list. You go there, you take the GED, and we will pay the $125 and then whatever retakes you have, because it's $11.25 for the first 2 retakes, and then $31.25 for after that. And what we'll do is, however many retakes you have to take, we will subtract that from the $500 and then give you a check for the remainder once you pass the GED.
Wow.
So
that is incredibly generous. That's also very, very logical, because like you said, again, females have a very distinct chance, and no judgment. I mean, there's so many different use cases of what could have happened, and I appreciate how you brought up GCC, because we did a story last week when GCC just had their graduation ceremony at UOG, and one of the women we talked to, she said, I had to kind of slow down because I had a baby, but I'm doing this for my child.
And that is what we see all the time. Most of the time, a lot of, these women drop out because they get pregnant, they have a baby, and then they, have another one, or then they get, a job where you're working. I just got a call the other day from some woman who said, I'm working 2 jobs. I really want to get my high school diploma so I can get a better job.
So I won't have to work 2 jobs all the time.
Right, and this is the opportunity. Please apply. We've had calls. We haven't had any applications yet. They're due May 31st. We want all the applications in, so just apply. You don't have, the only thing we need on the application is a photo ID. That's it. I mean, a copy of your photo ID.
So that's Tuesday after next, the deadline
yes,
is. Okay.
Right. So and it's on our website, bwa.guam.gov. It's a PDF fillable. You can download it, fill it out, or we've worked it out with the mayors, because a lot of the mayors know some of the women in the villages who need this kind of service or help. So you can get an application at your mayor's office, fill it out, leave it at your mayor's office, we will come and get it.
Can I just ask, Jane, that you could maybe speak to how important it is in today's modern cosmopolitan, technological society? I mean, there's a million different things going on. How important it is to get that baseline of education, especially for young women?
It is so important. So if you had to drop out of high school for whatever reason, now you do have to be 18 or older in order to avail of this scholarship, because they asked us to not make it 16 because they want kids to finish high school.
Sure.
They don't, they said, please make it 18 or older. We talked to GCC about this. And so, but it is so important because without your high school diploma, you can't register for post-secondary classes. You can barely get a job. I know people who don't have a high school diploma who have lied to get a job, and they're lucky the employer doesn't ask for any kind of copy of the diploma or anything.
And then that speaks to character, and ultimately that might catch up with you.
Right. So, but please, ladies, if you need this help, please apply, because it's out there, it's available. Now, if you are already in the adult high school program, like I said, apply, because the money will be there when you graduate. We have 36 scholarships available. And that's quite, I was thinking, oh, wow, that's not a whole lot. But you know what? When you look at all the scholarships available, it is a pretty big chunk of people that we're going to be helping.
Sure.
So, and what else was I going to say? The GED portion, I talked to Denise Mendiola over at GCC, and she said, Jane, you're going to have to front that $125 because, that's a big chunk of change, especially now. And so we will pay for the $125.
That is tremendous, because $125 might not sound like a lot to some people.
Right.
And they're like, but to a lot of people, especially those single mothers,
Right.
women who maybe
Yeah. And don't worry if you're
Yeah.
not good at math, because we'll pay for the retake for the math too. So.
Well, you said you were saying that your strength is the written word, perhaps not math. And I know someone in your family that is quite good at math. An engineer.
Yeah.
You've got several engineers in your family now, so you got that covered.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the vetting process, Jane? Once applicants actually get their paperwork in, when will they know?
We will know. We're going to try to get together a committee of a couple women. My friend Carlotta Leangro has agreed to be on the committee too, and a couple other women. And we're just going to look over these applications. It's not hard. We just need for you to tell us, when you dropped out of high school, what was your reason, how many kids you have, and why you want to do this. So just a short couple sentences about why you want to do this. You don't have to write an essay or anything like that. We wanted to make it fairly easy.
Okay, now how about for those women out there? Because, our culture tends to be a little bit bashful. I mean, they say, fortune favors the bold. And obviously, if you take this first step, that is very, very fortunate. But maybe for some women out there who might be saying, I'm a little bit hesitant, or I'm a little bit, shy to do that and everything like that. What's it going to take for them to get to that next step?
Call me up. Call my office, 475-9162, or call my cell, 483-6409.
Okay, trust me, young ladies and everything. Jane is a wonderful person to talk to on the phone, and by the end of that phone call, you are really going to be thoroughly convinced that is the decision
if
you want to make.
If you are Mamalo, I will print out the application and meet you somewhere with it. We really want women to be able to take care of this. I want to get all of these scholarships out there.
Okay, so again, that's Tuesday after next, May 31st is the deadline. So let's please, young ladies, whatever situation you're in, no judgment, no shade, no hate. We will absolutely get you.
We just want you to get the high school diploma so that you can rock it to whatever else you want to do.
Exactly. The rest of your life awaits. So Jane, thank you so much. And again,
thank
so
you,
good
Jason.
to see you.
It's so wonderful to see you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got like 40 years of journalism experience sitting right here in the KUM studios and everything. But Jane, you've got an open invitation if you ever want to come back, and especially with amazing programs like this.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And ladies, please apply.
Yes, please. Okay, and the hotspot will continue right after this.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device.